Hello and welcome to your first lesson of geometry for the school year. My name is Miss Bielik and I'll be your teacher. I really hope that I get to meet you guys in person soon, but for now this is the best that we can do. So basically how this class is going to work is you'll have your Google Meet sessions with me as scheduled. You can look at the schedule on the La Cueva website. It's basically the same schedule that La Cueva's had for years with a few minor adjustments. There's like a break in the morning, a stretch break, and I believe at 2 to 2:30 there's office hours, so it's just a little bit different, but it's the same format as it's been previously. Let's go ahead and take a look at that. And then the stuff you'll be doing on your own is things like this, taking notes, because you don't necessarily need me to be there with you while you take notes. So I'm going to go ahead and record all these for you, and you'll be doing this more as your homework. And then in the Google Meet sessions, we'll be doing more problem solving, so you can actually get support from me live. So anyway, we're going to get started with Chapter 1, Essentials of Geometry. And just so you know, on Google Classroom, under the topic Chapter 1, you'll find a blank copy of this entire notes packet. So I'd highly recommend if you have a printer, just go ahead and print it out, and that'll make note-taking super easy for you. If you don't have a printer or you just prefer to do all the notes on a separate sheet of paper, go for it. But either way, please make sure you're taking notes. I promise you it's going to be worth it for the assessments, especially while we are in an all online format. The assessments are going to be timed and there's going to be a lot of stuff. So you're going to want to have your notes ready to go so you can just flip through them while you take the tests. All right, so getting started, the first part of the notes is basics of geometry. So you'll notice on these first 2 pages of your notes packet, and let me go ahead and make this bigger for you. So yeah, you'll notice here on the first couple pages, it's just a bunch of definitions as well as pictures. So I'm not going to make you sit through me writing out every definition and drawing the picture. I'll let you go ahead and look at the key for the Chapter 1 notes packet on Google Classroom and go ahead and copy those down. Otherwise, this video is going to be like an hour long and I don't want to bore you with that. So the whole first page is just definitions. And let me zoom back out here, see if we can get to the next slide. There we go. Second slide is definitions on that left side. So again, I'll let you do that on your own time so you don't have to sit through me writing out everything. And then we get to a little bit more interactive note-taking, more fill-in-the-blank type stuff. So this is where I'm going to start walking you through and giving you some important information. So these are the most basic parts of geometry. These are our defined terms that we have. So way back, long time ago when they were first starting to discover mathematics and geometry, they started with these 3 basic terms. So they had a point, a line, and a plane. So we're going to look at those. So a point is a location. I'll try to write as neatly as I can. I'm still getting used to writing with my mouse. It has no shape or size. And when you name a point, you're always going to use a capital letter. So for example, on this one, it would be point A. Okay. A line is made up of points. Any 2 points form a line, so you only need 2 points in order to form a line. And sorry, let me go back and fix location. That's bothering me. This is an L. Okay, continuing on. A line has no thickness or width. Thickness, that's supposed to be an E, or width. Name a line by any 2 points on the line or a lowercase script letter. So you can see that in that example, they have that lowercase script letter N. So I could call this line N. I'll try to do that fancy little script there. Nope, not very good. That's line N. I could also call it line XY. Or if I want to do shorthand and I want to be lazy and not write this out, I can just say it's XY and then have a line above it. Make sure you have an arrow on both ends to indicate that that is a line. Collinear points are points that lie on the same line. And then non-collinear points are points that do not lie on the same line. So an example there of collinear points would be the points X, Y, and then I'm going to throw in a Z. So those 3 points are non-collinear, so they do not lie on the same line. Now if I was looking at collinear, I could just say that points X and Y are collinear, because they do lie on the same line in that particular diagram. Okay, so that is that. And then let's go ahead and move this up. Perfect. So the next thing is a plane. So a plane is a flat surface made up of points. So essentially, it's like a shape. So in order to consider something a plane, it's got to have at least 3 points. A plane extends indefinitely in all directions. Name a plane by any 3 non-collinear points on the plane or an uppercase script letter. Oops, I'm sorry. Yeah, no, that's right. Sorry, I'm on the right one. So we're naming by 3 non-collinear points on a plane or an uppercase script letter. So let's start with that uppercase script letter. You can see that that's P. It's kind of that fancy handwriting there. So I could say this is plane P. And go ahead and fill that in. I could also name it as plane JKL. You can also mix the order of the letters, so it's totally cool if I say KLJ or LJK. As long as I have those 3 points, the order does not matter. There's also coplanar points. So those are points that are on the same plane. So J, K, and L. And non-coplanar points, they do not lie on the same plane. And when you're naming non-coplanar points, you got to have 4 points at least. Okay, so then continuing on with intersecting lines and planes, 2 lines intersect at a point. Two planes intersect at a line. So you can see in that diagram, we've got 2 planes or 2 shapes that are crossing each other, and they intersect at line K. All right, so that is it on that page. So I'm going to go ahead and move on to the next page here. Get it to move, come on. Okay, let me zoom out here for a sec. There we go. Okay, so the next part of this is naming points, lines, and planes. So these are like your exercises that you would be doing. So I'm going to do some of these with you, and then I'm going to leave some of these open for you to try on your own. This isn't necessarily going to be an assignment that counts as a grade, but it's just a good check for you because we are going to have lots of quizzes and tests in here. So we'll do a couple of these together. We'll do number 1 and number 3 together. And then I'll leave you to try 2 and 4. The answers to 2 and 4 are included in the answer key for the notes packet. So you can just check yourself and see how you're doing. It's kind of a quick little assessment just for you without the pressure of it being a grade. So do know that there are going to be multiple correct answers on a lot of these questions. So the first question is to name 4 collinear points. So we need 4 points that would fall on the same line. So remember, points are defined by the capital letters. So we can't use like that lowercase r. That won't work. Let me zoom in for you. So we can't use like the R at the bottom, this one, because that's not uppercase. That's not naming a point. That's naming a line. Same with the Q and the P. So I got to look at the capital letters, and I need to find 4 of them that are on the same line. So I only see one line that has 4 points that are named. So it would be H, N, K, and I. Okay, next one, a line that contains point M. So when we're naming a line, remember that we can use those script lowercase letters to define the line, or we could use 2 points to define the line. We'll go ahead and use that lowercase script. So that is on line P. I'm just going to say line P. Try to do a little fancy script there. An alternative answer is I could say it's on line MO. I could do MN, I could do NO, as long as I have 2 points. A line that contains points H and K. So there's only one line that contains points H and K. It's line R. It needs to be a little fancy. Not great, but doing my best with my pen here. And then I could also call that line HK. I could call it line HN, line NK. I could also use that I point in there, so there's multiple correct answers there. Another name for line Q. So line Q, there's going to be a lot of options. So I could say JK. Make sure you do the line symbol, which means there's arrows on both ends because lines continue on forever. I could say JL. And you would only have to put one of these answers down. I'm just giving you options. I could do KL. I could flip the order of any of these, so I could have LJ or LK. Lots of possibilities there. Next one is name the intersection of lines P and R. So lines P and R intersect here. So that is point N. I can just put a capital N, and just one correct answer is possible in that one. Awesome. So number 2, I'll let you try on your own, and then you can check your answers on the key. Use the diagram on the right to name the following. So name 3 coplanar points. So that's 3 points that are on the same plane. So I'm going to use plane R. So that capital fancy script R is naming that shape or that plane. And on that plane, I have W, X, Y, and V. So I can use any combination of those. I only need 3 of those letters. So I'm just going to say, oh yeah, because they just asked for 3. So W, X, V. I could also have done Y. A plane containing point X. So point X is on plane R. It is also on plane X, Y, V, W. So it's also the base there of that triangle. But I'm just going to go with plane R just because that one already has a name. Okay. The intersection of plane R and plane Z, V, Y. So Z, V, Y is one of the sides of that triangular prism right there. And we're asking where does it intersect plane R? So it intersects at this line here, this VY. How many planes appear in the figure? So we've got this base here at the bottom, this parallelogram looking plane. We have the base of this prism. So it's a square, sorry, it's a pyramid. I keep saying prism, it's a pyramid. So it's a square pyramid. So we've got the square and then we have the 3 triangles. So that's a total of 5 planes. How many planes contain point W? Okay, so point W is on the plane R, that base one. It's also on the square base, so there's 2. It is also on 2 of the sides. So that would be a total of 4. So all but one side. Okay, so that is it as far as the practice there. I'll let you try number 4 on your own as well and then check your answers. Just do know that there are multiple correct answers on this whole section. So awesome job, you survived your first geometry lesson. This was our very first section. Just make sure you keep your notes in a safe place so you are ready to go when we have a test or a quiz.